Okay, so the Grasshopper exercise, you have the G2 file here under Canvas, assignment 2. We talked about already some of these. We also have the link to the video tutorials about that under this assignment. But I'm thinking of focusing on G2 more than G1. So you download this file, you go to Grasshopper, which is basically Rhino with the command Grasshopper. You go to that one, you kind of post it on the side, and then you go File, Open, and say G2, and this is what comes out. As we mentioned, orange means there's no data, and that's the input, the main input of the entire definition. And I want to explain a little bit of how the definition works, but know that towards the right is where you're going to be baking, right-click and baking now. So what is being asked is on the first option on the top, we're going to select from run on our side. So make sure you can select the side. You're going to go to the geometry command in Grasshopper, right click, set one geometry, and select that guy. It turns now into a light gray, which means that it has data, and things feel like they're working. You can hide even with the command hiding in Rhino that geometry, and notice how it appears now in light red. I'm going to turn off the dimensions. I don't think we need those. So there you go. So it is doing something already. It's creating some points floating around, but there's still this orange option. And this is basically a module that we can actually replicate many times inside of the site. So you will do, for example, something like, I don't know, a sphere. Oh, I'm going to use the box. Okay, and then you can use that as a module. What we're going to do is take that module into every single point. So right click on geometry, set one geometry, select that one. And what automatically happens is that I'm hiding this one. This geometry goes into each of those points and also is being transformed in a particular way, given a set of parameters. You might like this or dislike. You can change several things. For example, this tool is populate a 3D form and allows you to change the number of points. Therefore, more of those modules or less. Okay, the seed in Grasshopper tends to be the different options of the same solution. So it alternates different possibilities. Okay. Another thing you can change is the scale values. So the way I created this definition is that I'm not assigning necessarily the same change of scale for all of the pieces. I'm saying a minimum and a maximum of the differentiation of scale value. So if I take this to the maximum to the minimum, you're going to find very small pieces somewhere, like this one. And you're going to find very big ones, like that one. So the further away these numbers are, the more diverse set of sides. But that might be something you want or not. The closer they are towards the middle, the similar in scale they are. So if you want to take all those to the top area, there will be all of them equally sized in terms of size and large scale. But if you just take it there, you're going to have some of them very big, other ones just a little bit smaller. Okay, and the seed again is permutations of the same calculation. Next thing you can change is the rotational possibilities in the X, Y, and Z different planes. So each of those guys we're going to leave you rotate in a particular plane. If you take all of those to 0, there's absolutely no rotation. So the same module angle, it will be implemented into all of the single possibilities. But if you start changing some of those, notice how it starts changing. Now the first of the angle is like how all of them change, or how they change a lot or a little, variation of change. So you might say, I want to do some changes in the vertical organizations, because that tends to be interesting to do. And I'm not going to go into the other sophisticated rotations, and I'm going to place more of these guys and a little bit smaller. Let's say that's the combo you like. You will go to the end and you're going to bake the solution. You're going to place it in a particular layer, and you can already close Grasshopper. I turn on the base and show it because I hit it, and I'm going to do my Boolean difference with all of those pieces. You might say you like it or not. Those could be kind of spaces that you go from one to another. You might do the opposite of Boolean intersection, no? Which could also be interesting. It's up to you. The good thing about that, I go back, let's say I don't like this solution, I go back and type Grasshopper. The same definition is there. I might have lost here that, so sometimes you just have to set one geometry again. I say I don't like that. I'm going to do actually tunnels that are going vertically. So I'm going to rotate these guys in this direction, 90. No, it's going to be 0, 0. And here it's going to be 90. Change that to 100. So now they're, see how they're like in that position. I could say, I'm going to rotate these guys slightly like this. And I'm going to make them much smaller, but many of those. Might be more difficult to get something there of interest, but anyway. And I'd say again, I like this one. It's easy to try to make changes, so why not trying different things? Can close that, and then a Boolean difference. And then you have like a microcosmos of little spaces, no? Another thing I can try, I could actually say, well, the module is not the thing I would like to be. Maybe it's a cylinder world, or maybe it's actually more complex. Maybe it's a box that is very long and it has Boolean operations itself. Okay, so what if that's the module? I can go back to Grasshopper, going back to selecting my pieces, select this geometry, select this geometry, and there you have it, no? Maybe now it's too many. Maybe you want to try different rotation patterns. Let's say I love it or I hate it. I hate it, therefore I put it. Close, Boolean, and it becomes this kind of sophisticated network of spaces that some of them could be quite interesting or not, but it definitely gives you options that you get surprised by, no? So that's the thing. From that point on, you know your angles, your views, your perspectives, and where your clipping plane goes, and do your one or two proposals that you like or dislike, etc., etc.